Comics and powered by the Red 5 Network. For more, visit red5.bio.link. Good morning. It's Wednesday, July 9th, and it's time for some Daily Dose of Dork. I don't know if you take your Daily Dose of Dork with coffee, tea, water. Just kidding. Or am I? You're here. I'm giving you your Daily Dose of Dork, so technically you are taking it with me. How are you guys? Did you sleep well? You know how I feel about making sure you get your sleep. Get your sleep. Take your vitamins. Be good. There, have I mommed you enough? Is it sufficient now? All right, guys, before we go any further, do me a huge solid and hit that like button. Subscribe if you are new. We are now over We are now over 5,300 subscribers. Go team. And remember, the giveaway, you get us up to monetize. You get us to 3,000 watch hours. Soon. It's got to be soon, okay? You get us up to 3,000 watch hours. If the channel hits that soon, we're going to do the biggest giveaway that the channel has ever done. The biggest, the hugest giveaway the channel has ever done. What is on my sleeve? Do you see that? This shirt is super old. Anyway, we're going to do the biggest giveaway this channel has ever done. I will gift someone. I will pick someone. We'll do a drawing. I will pick someone to win an official comics and hoodie custom designed specifically for the winner by yours truly. That's right. So if we can get the channel up to 3,000 watch hours and hit monetization soon, hoodie giveaway, biggest giveaway. I mean, that's going to cost me like $50-$60, if not more. Those hoodies are not cheap. So let's do it. Also, if I don't get a new computer by October, the channel's done. And it super sucks because I've been at this for 5 years. But need a new computer. And $400 away from the goal. So if you guys could help out by scanning the QR code and taking it to buymeacoffee.com/comicsandmua and chip in a little bit. Maybe you can Cash App it. You can join the Patreon. But, and I hate to keep bringing it up, but the channel will be done by October because my computer's not capable of running Windows 11. And I'm broke. But if we get monetized, that's a whole different can of worms. It's a whole different can of worms. So get us to 3,000. Get us to 3,000 watch hours. And we will totally do that giveaway. And one of you lucky nerdlings will win an official comics and hoodie custom designed just for you. All right, guys. We've got a couple Superman things to talk about today. But first, it's time to say good morning to the chat. My favorite part of the stream. It truly, truly is. Favorite part of the stream. Good morning, nerdling, deranged lunatic. Good morning, Penny. Off to the library. We could learn a lot from Penny, guys. We really could. She's pretty awesome. Good morning, Patricia. Good morning. Good morning, Emositis Play. Do me a favor. I said that totally wrong. Emositis Plays. Hello. Hail, good morning. I hope you have subscribed. Welcome. And I hope you're watching stuff because if we get those watch hours up soon, I'm doing a really super sweet giveaway. So, good morning, Loki. Yeah, I've got one in the chat right now. So Kino, be on that wrenching. Be on the wrenching. Good morning, Amir. I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to see it tomorrow. We're not reviewing today. We're talking about other people's reviews. Non-spoiler, of course. I go see it tomorrow. And good morning, Nerdling First Class contributing producer, Kino. Be on that wrench today, apparently. And don't be afraid to bonk Loki over the head once or twice. He might need it. Just kidding. Loki, you did say something to Rosif yesterday that I truly appreciated. You beat me to it, but I'm so glad somebody had to say it. You reminded him that he loved Jurassic World Rebirth. So, and that was just meh to me. It just, like, yeah, that was a dinosaur-ish movie. Yeah, that was a thing. That was a thing. All right, y'all. Let's dive in to some stories. Let's dive into some stories. What do I have here? Let's start with this. Okay, so James Gunn. Now, let me preface that. And for those who are new, we cover a couple minor headlines or other headlines for a couple of minutes before we dive into our main topic, our main dish, if you will. So we're going to take care of the amuse-bouche, the hors d'oeuvres, the apéritif, and other French words as well. And then we're going to dive into our main juicy topic, the meat of our discussion today. So first, remember, we've been over it a billion times with the Batman 2. A billion times. We've waited years for the script to show up. It's finally here. But having the script, and this is something that a lot of people seem to forget, James Gunn has said multiple times that he's not going to greenlight a movie until he is satisfied with the script. A completed script handed in does not equal the movies being made. That means it's been turned in, he's reviewing it. We'll see what he says. Good morning, Maverick! My farm is doing well right now. The chickens have their chicken tractor. It's actually clean the chicken coop day. But I did harvest a bunch of carrots and corn. And you guys don't care about this, but thank you so much for asking. It's doing well. Thank you. Anyway, we finally got the script turned in, right? The script is turned in. However, and a lot of people were like, no, that means it's ready to go. It's ready to go. No, it doesn't mean it's ready to go yet. James Gunn and Peter Safran, mainly James Gunn, has to review the script. Now, several things could happen at this point. First, the easiest option could be he loves it. James Gunn loves the script. Green light, let's go. Batman 2 is now in production. Number 2, it could be James Gunn has some notes. He needs some things changed. He gives it back to Matt Reeves. Matt Reeves then can make those changes or fight him on it. And then back and forth. Then the last thing that could happen, obviously, is he could just totally reject it whatsoever and kills the movie. A lot of people were like, oh no. And I don't think a lot, but some people were like, oh no, he started the script. We're going, yay. That's not entirely true. Want the proof? Here's the proof. It's James Gunn talking to Screen Rant, and he says he'd greenlight the Batman 2 immediately if one specific character is in the script. So it's kind of a silly answer or whatever. But the most important thing to focus on in this quote is he will greenlight if. He hasn't, I don't think he's even read it yet. He hasn't read the script, but that means it has not been greenlit yet. So let's hear what he has to say. And then Maverick, I will answer your question, I promise. So here we go.
Is there a niche DC character or story that you think deserves more attention, whether you're developing it or not? Just somebody you'd really love to bring to the forefront at some point.
I mean, everybody knows I love Batmite. Batmite's like my man. He's creepy as hell. And I think I got to do something with Batmite someday. I don't know how to do it.
Okay.
Unless Matt's doing it in his script. I got his script yesterday, and I haven't had a chance to read it yet. And maybe Matt Reeves put Batmite in his script. If you did, Matt, I'm going to be really, really stoked. And it's an instant green light.
I love that everyone's been asking about the Batman script. He's like,
let's highlight this. If he put Batmite in there, it's an instant green light. Here's the thing. The most important thing. It's not been greenlit yet. It's not been greenlit yet. The fact that the script is complete is not a guarantee that the film is going to be made. So everyone needs to focus on that. It's not been greenlit officially yet. So I'm still not fully convinced that it's going to get made. I will change my mind as soon as I hear that James Gunn has greenlit. He's like, yep, we're a go. As soon as I hear that, I'll eat my words. But as of now, not so much. And Maverick, no, it's not like the farm from Smallville. Most Midwestern farms do not look like that. They look closer to the farm you're going to see in James Gunn's Superman. However, it's not a trailer. It's just like one-story ranch style houses. And my farm is extremely small. Glorified garden, if you will. I have like 20 different types of vegetables, several types of fruit, and some livestock. I mean, that's technically a farm. Anyway. But no, the farms you see on like Smallville and stuff, this thing is still so tangled. Guys, someone get me some new earbuds. This is a mess. The farm you see on Smallville, that is a farm that has been handed down through generations. It's a generational farm. Depending on how long your farm has been in the family will probably depend on that nice house. But farmers don't make a whole lot of money, so we can't afford real nice houses like that. Just saying. Anywho, Batman 2 has not been greenlit yet. Give it time. He has to read it and decide if he likes it. So there is that. Am I back on the right thing now? I am. Okay. So if you didn't notice, HBO Max is now HBO Max again. Okay. Like every 5 minutes, they're changing it. Super. Did anyone ever just call it Max? I don't think anyone did. I think everyone just continued to call it HBO Max. So I feel like this was unnecessary, slightly redundant. The Disney Insider or whatever is saying that National Treasure 3 is back on the block to be made. Good morning, Scarif Scuttlebutt Podcast. Were your ears ringing? Good morning, Polly. How do we know that what was turned in and photographed was a first draft, second, or third, or five? Exactly. That is precisely what I've been saying. James Gunn hasn't read the script yet. And there are three things that could happen. He could give his notes and send it back, and then the process starts all over again. He could say, hey, that's amazing. It's great. Greenlit, good to go. Or he could say, nope, we're done. I'm tired of waiting on you, and then call it quits. There you go. But it's not been greenlit yet. But exactly. Yeah. I just call it HBO too. It's always just HBO. So here we have that's the wrong thing I've just pulled up. Here we have this news from DisInsider that National Treasure 3 is yet again back in production. It says, rumor, National Treasure 3 seems to be really happening at Disney again. And this is from yesterday. It says that it's a film that's become somewhat of a mythical holy grail itself over the last 20 years, National Treasure 3. For years, there have been countless rumors about the film happening. Just when one of them gets debunked by star Nick Cage, someone else comes out and says it's definitely happening. While the studio's last attempt to revive the series at Disney Plus ultimately got canceled because it was boring AF, it appears production on a third film is finally gaining traction. You know what's hilarious is that I completely forgot that series existed at all until I read that sentence. That's how boring it was. According to a rumor by Daniel RPK, grain of salt, not only is a third film officially in production at Disney, but the film has a writer too. The Industry Insider posted on his Patreon earlier this evening that Chris Bremer from Bad Boys for Life, Bad Boys Ride or Die, is penning the current draft of the script. Now, if this piece of news sounds familiar, it's because the Hollywood Reporter reported this information in 2020. So we don't think that this is less of a decision to make a new film as it is a decision to resume work on a previously announced installment. In any case, we do urge our readers to take any online rumor with a grain of salt. Because of the Hollywood Reporter's previous reporting, we are inclined to believe that there is some truth to this news. The last we heard, writer Ted Elliott said he was working on a script for the film, teasing the next heist as the weirdest ever. However, this was 1 year ago. This latest report sounds like the studio may be going back to the drawing board. At this point, it's too early to tell if Nicolas Cage or any of the other original cast members will return. Released in 2004, National Treasure followed Ben Gates, Cage and his team, Bartha and Kruger, as they raced to find the legendary Templar treasure before a team of mercenaries. Then he had Book of Secrets after that. I liked the films. I thought they were great. Whatever. They were fun. And yeah, good point. Sahara came out around the same time, kind of copying what they were doing. But yeah, so for fans of National Treasure, there's some hope. Loki says Daniel RPK also said they're doing a female Silver Surfer show, so he's just throwing spaghetti at a wall. I think, again, we've talked about this, and you cited me as source on Twitter, and I was like, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. I think My Time to Shine Hello is Daniel RPK. I think it's an alt account, and I think that's his way of throwing spaghetti at a wall, because Daniel Day-Lewis is Magneto. Shut up. Shut up. Good morning, Omari. Did anyone see Dream Scenario? Nicolas Cage was very good at that. He was, and that's a freaking creepy ass movie. Blech. Deranged Lunatic says, I read the book Sahara. Compared to the book, the movie sucked. That usually happens, unfortunately. Okay, let's see. So here we go. This is our first look at Dune Part 3. It's a picture from Denis Villeneuve from the location where they're filming. So yay, Dune Messiah is coming. Thank God. Thank the orange Catholic God. See what I did there? Any Dune fans in the chat, leave it in the chat below. You guys know I'm a huge Dune fan, like huge. Okay. So I think it's really hilarious that this rumor is coming out. When is Omari's asking, when is Dune Prophecy season 2 coming? I know it's been renewed, but don't know. No idea. No news yet. I think it's hilarious that this information is coming out right after the Rick and Morty episode with James Gunn and Zack Snyder, where they're with the movie-lizer, like Rick makes the movie-lizer, and they mess up the movie they're stuck in, and the machine starts freaking out because it no longer has a third act. And James Gunn has come out and said, you know, that's where the MCU went wrong. Like, they started filming movies without completed scripts, without completed stories. Like, you can't do that. And here we are, according to Daniel RPK, Marvel Studios reportedly still hasn't finalized the final act of Avengers Doomsday. There's no third act. They have been in production for a couple of months now, and there's no third act. Stressful. Good morning, Yo Chill. We're going to talk about that in a second, pal. No third act. Loki says, duh, they don't have all the actors locked in a contract. Also true. They still don't have all the actors under contract. Good morning, Jeremy. We're going to talk about that in a second. Yeah. So this is not a good sign. Even though the Russos are the one in charge and they've done well for us in the past, we don't have all the actors under contract, and we don't have the third act. Seriously, what is going on here? Why do they continue to do this stuff and think that it's going to result in good stuff? Oh, I can't even. What do you guys think? Drop it in the chat below. Let me hear what you guys think about Avengers Doomsday not having a third act. And I just went to Cinema Score Maverick, and I don't see anything for Superman yet. Jeremy Blue says, I only care about DC and Marvel when it comes to quality. I agree. You know, they've kind of looked at comic book movies in the past as, just bad quality crap. And then Marvel Phase 1 through 3 came out, showed them we can have quality, good writing and storytelling. And then they were like, oh, we could do whatever we want and they'll buy anything. And then here we go, back to low quality. Penny says, not having a completed script is what's causing all the reshoots. I think it's foolish of them. You are 1,000% correct. It's irresponsible, if nothing else. I mean, you're just costing yourself more money. It kind of like carpentry. Measure twice, cut once. Measure twice, cut once. Like, because if you don't, chances are you're going to have to buy more wood. Just saying. Anyway, there's that. Kino says, I don't know if Marvel Jesus, aka Deadpool, can save this. Yeah, he's part of the machine now. He's locked in. He's probably got the best contract out of any other Marvel actor, though. I can almost promise that him and Hugh Jackman probably have a lot more movement, freedom-ish, if you will. Jeremy Blue, to be honest, I want what Young Justice gave us. It wasn't all good, but I preferred over anything else. A lot of people were super, super upset when they canceled Young Justice. A lot of people. Okay, that's weird because I pulled up CinemaScore and I'm at cinemascore.com and I cannot find Superman. It gave me, let's see, Batman versus Superman, Superman 4, and Superman Returns. So it's not been actual scored yet. The 86% you're giving me, CinemaScore doesn't do that. They do the alphabetical. Anywho, that is what we have on Doomsday, which is not much. No third act, that's for sure. So, Rob Liefeld saw Superman last night, and he is singing the praises of Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner. He's saying he's absolutely perfect. I can see that. I haven't watched the movie again, like I'm saying. Haven't watched it. But I have a lot of faith in Nathan Fillion's ability to portray a kind of a smart mouth a-hole. How douchey he can be. Anywho, Kino, I've already been on, like, I'm on the website for CinemaScore and they don't have a score yet for Superman. And again, the score for CinemaScore isn't percentages, it's A, B, C, D, or F. So A or better down to F. So they don't do percentages. Jeremy Blue, was there any question that he wasn't? It's Nathan Fillion. Exactly. Jeremy, we're getting on to not Jeremy, Yo Chill. Like we're getting there. We're getting to the Superman discussion. I'm seeing everything you're saying. I completely am aware of how you feel about Superman. So, give me 5 seconds. We're going to get to it. All right. Good morning, Nerdling First Class Backyard TARDIS. Good morning. And good morning, Ken. Let's try constructive stuff. Let's say something constructive. Anywho, so as of right now when it's actually higher. When it premiered on Rotten Tomatoes. Good morning, Truth. Good morning. When it first dropped on Rotten Tomatoes, it was at 92%. It has gone down to 85%. Okay. And that's the critics. Okay. Now, I've not made it any secret how I feel about the critics on Rotten Tomatoes, how I feel about Rotten Tomatoes in general, because 2 years ago, or almost 3, I don't know, it's been a couple years, they got busted using a third-party company called Bunker 15, paying their critics for specific reviews. The critics on Rotten Tomatoes are not to be trusted. Or the critics score, I'll say. The critics score on Rotten Tomatoes is not to be trusted. What I do read is the audience score. Oh, now I have to do this. Making me have to type things, which distracts my lady brain. Okay. Anyway, so it's gone down to 85% in the critic score with 157 reviews. However, the audience score, which is the only thing I will take seriously at all on Rotten Tomatoes, is at 96%. When I made the graphic, it was at 95%, but it's currently a 96% on Rotten Tomatoes. On critic lists, it is certified rad. It's certified rad on critic lists. So pretty much all over, the audience's majority of audience, the overwhelming majority of audience is enjoying it. There are people who haven't cared for it. That's fine. Like, you're not going to make everyone happy with everything. It's just not physically possible. It's just not. And of course, you have your professionally outraged who, that is their algorithm. That is their demographic. So they will hate things and bash things. But good morning, Mr. Moody. But as of right now, overwhelmingly, the audience is loving it. And that's going on every audience review thing I have seen so far. The other good news is that, you know, initially Superman was on track to do 170 million this weekend, or 180 million, something like that. It's now on track to do 200 million, which is what the movie's budget was. $1 billion movie, guys. $1 billion movie. It's $1 billion movie. So it's already exceeding the expectations, or the initial speculation for box office numbers. That's really good. Jeremy saying, from the way it's tracking, it might make more. It might. I don't care what you say, Truth. I'm saying $1 billion movie. And here's why I think that. It is on track to outperform Man of Steel, which was initially the best performing Superman film of all time. So I've got some numbers here. Thank you, Kino, for getting them for me. And this has all been, this is adjusted for inflation. Adjusted for inflation, this movie, Superman, is about to outperform Man of Steel. Good morning, Leo! Good morning. Because dinosaurs are awesome. So adjusted for inflation, this movie is on track to outperform Man of Steel. Back in 1978, The original Superman movie had a budget of $55 million. The opening weekend, it did just under 8 million. And I think ended up just over 300 million worldwide. Man of Steel, 667,999,518. That's how much Man of Steel did. And it did 225 million. No, 225 million was its production budget. Opening weekend, it made 116 million. So we're looking at it's going to outperform Man of Steel. Good morning, Johnny Dome. Yeah. The Snyder cult is having a hard day. One of them tried to tell me nobody cares. Aw, you're welcome, Leo. One of them tried to tell me today that nobody cares about Maxwell Lord. If that's true, if you believe that DC fans don't care about Maxwell Lord, ask a DC fan how they felt about Pedro Pascal's performance as Maxwell Lord in Wonder Woman 84. I guarantee you they're going to care. Good morning, Joel. Man of Steel made 128 million. I don't know why they didn't count Thursday viewing in 2013. So it says opening weekend 116,619,362. I'm looking at the actual numbers. This is box office history. A whole website that's dedicated to that. And it says 116,619,362. And it topped out worldwide box office with $667,999,518. And Superman's tracking to earn $200 million this weekend. The family demographic never fails. That's your general audience. These things are so itchy. So this is the thing I've been saying this whole time. Is as much as we nerds love this stuff and support it as best as we can afford, we are seriously outnumbered by that general audience demographic. They outnumber us substantially. You need the normies. You need the general audience in order for your film to be a success. So you have this balancing act of appeasing your diehard nerds and your general audience. It's a very difficult thing to do, as was explained in Rick and Morty. It was a great episode. I'm just saying, I feel seen. Anyway, it's a balancing act, but you need that general audience, that family demographic. You need it. If you don't have it, your movie isn't going anywhere. And so far they seem to have gotten them. Now, the movie hasn't even officially hit theaters yet. Not until Friday. So the real information, the real shit, we're not going to have until at least Saturday morning. Jeremy Blue, and they were very smart for doing that. 100%. You need it. Kino's given me some more information. Without adjusting for inflation, this could be the first Superman film to break $1 billion. If you adjust for inflation, it'll be the second. The first was 1978 Superman, 1.4 billion. 1.4 billion, adjusted for inflation. I think you said here 1.47 billion. Man of Steel, the 2013 Superman movie, Man of Steel grossed approximately $904 million worldwide. That's not what this website says. This one says 667 worldwide. Its initial worldwide gross was 668 million when adjusted for inflation. Gotcha. All right. When adjusted for inflation, this makes it the second highest grossing Superman film after the 1978. So the adjusted for inflation is 904 million. Superman Returns grossed approximately 391 million worldwide. When adjusted for inflation, this is the equivalent to roughly 622 million in today's money. Yeah, we got all those other ones. Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice grossed approximately 873 million at the worldwide box office. When adjusted for inflation, this translates to the range between 972 million and 1.04 billion. Specifically, Box Office Mojo estimates that the film sold an estimated 38,260,600 tickets. Using this number and adjusting to a 2024 average ticket price, the estimated inflation adjusted gross falls within range mentioned above. So, it's tracking to beat Zack Snyder's movies. Hug one of your Snyder cult friends today. They are not going to have a good day. Good morning, Jonestown Kool-Aid. Geeks and Gamers is trashing Superman. Do you think they are jaded because it's doing well already? I don't know. I don't know those people personally. Again, they are one of those content creators, podcasts, what have you, that their demographic, their algorithm is so they have to be like that in order to keep their clicks going. I do know personally that some of those people that are in the professionally outraged demographic algorithm don't actually feel that way in the RL. They do that because that's how they pay their bills. Joel Familia, I'll say 700 million because Fantastic Four is coming and Jurassic World is still going strong. Those are excellent, excellent points. But I think the real battle is going to be between Fantastic Four and Superman. You are right about that. Superman has a good 2 weeks. A good 2 weeks out there before Fantastic Four does. The bulk of its box office numbers are going to happen in those 2 weeks. Good morning, Benny Bean. I'm hearing some good reviews where they point out minor issues, but overall consensus that is different to what comic book films have been for the last 25 years. I have heard that as well. I've heard that as well. We'll go over a couple of non-spoiler reviews right here. Joel Familia says Jeremy Jahns and Angry Joe are conflicted about the movie. Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen several people that are conflicted about it, but again, it's already doing better than initially thought. Discussing film says David Cornsweet cements himself as this generation's definitive Superman, carrying his signature Boy Scout charm on perfect display in an incredible performance. I've seen a lot of reviews singing praises the performances of the cast, David Cornsweet and Rachel Brosnahan. IGN, which, okay, but we're still going to see what they say. Superman is a wonderfully entertaining, heartfelt cinematic reset for the Man of Steel, a great start for the DCU on the big screen. Hollywood Reporter. David Corenswet makes an outstanding Superman Clark Kent. His performance loaded with self-irony, charm, and poignant vulnerability. James Gunn brings his signature approach to Superman. The result is very much a comic book action adventure, but one with a warm human heart. Superman First Reactions, a terrific start to the new DC studios. Variety, Superman First Reactions are in, and members of the press are praising the film as a thrilling start. Variety also says First Reactions say film soars as a thrilling start to James Gunn's DC universe. David Corenswet is exceptional, sharing off the charts chemistry with Rachel Brosnahan. Mace Windu, Superman made me believe that a man can fly. It can't be overstated. Corenswet and Brosnahan are perfectly cast. Holt as Luthor is an all-timer that stands out above all previous iterations. All due respect to 78, this is the greatest Superman movie of all time. Even Yellow Flash really loved it. I'm not kidding. He called it fun, entertaining. Truth says, being kind is punk rock. That should be the tagline. I have that tattooed on my wrist. Not being kind, but punk rock. Punk rock pinup. There we go. Those are the old days. Lois Lane will apparently become a girl boss now. Lois Lane's always been a girl boss, in my opinion. She's always been just, nobody's going to tell her no. She's going to go do it. Do it. Discussing films, Joel Familia says, gave it a 3.5 out of 5. IGN gave it an 8 out of 10. Loki, here we go. Second week, Ray's drop will tell us more than initial projections. Exactly. It's kind of what I was saying earlier. That first 2 weeks is going to tell us everything. The bulk of what it makes is going to happen in these first 2 weeks. Jonestown Kool-Aid. I'm happy to see DC move away from the dark and almost way too serious tone with Superman. It feels like going back to the roots of the Christopher Reeve era. Precisely. Listen, I enjoyed the Zack Snyder films, but were they true to DC and its tone? No, not really. Superman, I used to think when I was growing up, I thought Superman was kind of boring. Why? Because he's one-dimensional in a sense. He doesn't have darkness. He doesn't have the kind of depth that you see in Marvel characters. And there's a specific reason for that. Because Marvel is, and I've said this many times, Marvel is about ambiguity, relatability. What happens to Average Joe when he gets bitten by a radioactive spider? DC is about aspirational characters, stark differences between right and wrong, good and evil. They're in the business of creating gods, so to speak. Aspirational characters that you look up to and want to be more like, characters that show you the best of us. That's what DC is about. And Zack Snyder gave Superman darkness. He gave him too much darkness. It just wasn't the bright, cheerful, here's what we should be looking up to world. And that's just how I feel about that. It's just how I feel about that. But I am definitely looking forward to this film. I have friends that didn't like it. I have friends that absolutely loved it. So, I mean, it's still kind of me going in with this 50-50 it could go either way feeling. I'm trying to keep my expectations as blank as possible, which is extremely hard when you're a content creator and have to be on social media. It's very, very difficult. But I'm doing a pretty good job so far. If I see anything about Superman that starts to give any kind of spoiler, I just and keep going. So very excited to see Superman tomorrow with my lover face, my human partner for life. Where are we at? Jeremy, just curious, how do you think Batman would fit in this new universe? Exactly how he fit in the comics. He is an excellent contrast to Superman. Sorry, these earbuds are not comfortable and they don't work. I think he's going to fit exactly how he fits in the comics. You need comics. You need that contrast. You need that contrast. He is darker. That's why it's Gotham City, but he doesn't kill. He has a moral code, a very strict moral code, which he doesn't really waver on. So I think it's going to be Brandon Sklenar, or is it Sklenar? Somebody tell me how to appropriately pronounce that man's name. And I think they're going to be a little bit more Silver Age with it. I think he's going to start off with Damian Wayne as his Robin, which I know this is unpopular, but I love Damian Wayne. And Gunn has said multiple times, we're done with the origin story. We don't need to see Batman's parents shot and him starting over training again. We don't need to see Spider-Man bit by a spider anymore. We don't need to see Superman coming from Krypton again and, first landing in Smallville and doing a whole movie about that. We don't need to see any of those origin stories anymore. So I think we're going to pick up with a Bruce Wayne in Gotham City that's got his son Damian Wayne, and I think it's going to be dope. I do not think it's going to be Robert Pattinson at all. His world does not fit. It does not fit with the DCU whatsoever. Jeremy says the Batman Nolan trilogy was epic, but it ruined Batman. You're a complex man, aren't you, Jeremy? Very complex. I had a friend who was in Dark Knight Rises. We need comic book movies to be comic book movies. And the Batman is far too grounded and realistic for that to work. Ha! Joel, the grounded days Nolan established are over. Gunn is breaking out of that grounded setting and based the movie in a comic book world, something that hasn't been done since the Burton and Schumacher days. And we loved those movies as kids. We loved them. We loved them. Maverick, always look on the bright side of life. I love Monty Python. And Kino says it opens the door for a Bloodhaven series, and that would be awesome. I would love a Bloodhaven series. But if you have any questions, comments, emotional outbursts, drop them in the chat. We are wrapping things up. I got to go clean a chicken coop. Not really excited about it, but it's got to be done. It sucks because I'm having a good hair day. As of now, I am still interviewing Bo DeMaio on Friday. I did tell him that was all I had left. So fingers crossed this actually, fingers crossed. Okay. He's rescheduled several times. I understand he's busy. He's got a lot of stuff going on. Sometimes he gets a pimple. But I got stuff going on too. So hopefully That will be out next week. I am so sorry that this has gotten pushed off so many weeks on you guys. I'm really sorry. I keep promising and I got to stop doing that. So hopefully if I actually get to interview him Friday like we have planned and he's offered me an additional half an hour, then that will be out next week. That'll be your drop for next week. I have nothing planned other than a Guy Gardner breakdown. So I wish that I would have known because I would have started on Guy Gardner. But anywho, hopefully that's coming up soon. If you would like to help support the channel, thank you. Thank you so much. The easiest and the freest way to do that is showing our algorithm overlords that you enjoy this nerdy nonsense I'm putting out there. And by hitting that like button, subscribing if you're new, and ringing that notification bell so you get notified whenever I'm back with even more of this nerdiness. You can also share this video, share any video, leave a comment, say hey on Twitter, whatevs. But it lets YouTube know that you like what I'm doing and it will show it to more people. If you would like to help support me keeping this on the air, because again, I'm not monetized. We have over 5,300 subscribers and still I'm not monetized yet. I don't have the watch hours and I've got to pay for StreamYard, Adobe, licensing, all kinds of stuff. It's a thing. It's true. And also my computer is on its last legs. It's only capable of Windows 10. And as of October, Windows 10 is no more. I will have to go to Windows 11, but my computer's not capable of it. I'm $400 away from my goal to get a new computer. If I don't reach that by October, then the channel is officially kaput. Done. You will not see this face on YouTube anymore. And that's a shame because I worked for 5 years on it. But if you would like to help with that and help keep the channel going, bless you. Thank you so much. There is a QR code right there. Yeah, right there. They moved stuff around on me. The QR code is right there and it will take you to buymeacoffee.com/comicsand you could tip me as little or as much as you like to help us keep the show on the air, to help me get a new computer to keep doing this. If you don't want to use Cash App or Buy Me a Coffee, that's perfectly fine. We've got Cash App and all of these links are in the description below. So Cash App, $, DanielleSoncasie, and you can tip us as little as much to help keep this going. You can also check out the official Nerdling Army over at patreon.com/comicsand. We have 3 tiers starting as little as $3 a month. Each tier is designated as its own specific rank with insignia in the Nerdling Army. I will refer to you from here on out as your rank. Your name will show up in the end credits. You get exclusive Nerdling Army merch specific to your rank with your insignia on it. Every 3 months for the first year of your membership, you have access to the exclusive Nerdling Army chat. So you can get to know your other nerdlings. We have behind the scenes outtakes, sneak peeks, work in progress. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. The script for my now defunct comic book that was based on the novel I wrote several years ago. You get, oh my God, what else do you get? I don't know, there's a few things. And I try to keep up with it. It's super hard. But anyway, check out the Nerdling Army over at patreon.com/comicsand and join it today. We have our comicsandcosmetics.etsy.com, our merch store, and I'm an affiliate for several people like Leash Boss, if you have dogs, Zenny Optical, Cora's Vault, TikTok, CapCut, and more. We are doing a giveaway. It is the biggest giveaway in comics and history. The biggest giveaway. I am trying to get these watch hours up so I can get monetized, so I can stop harassing you guys, so I can get a computer and keep the show going. But I need minimum 822 more watch hours. So here's the deal. If you guys help me get to 3,000 watch hours at least, you help me get to 3,000 watch hours, soon we will do the biggest giveaway in comics and history. I will give one lucky subscriber an official comics and hoodie specifically designed for the winner. I'll pay for all of it. I'll design it specifically for the winner and I will mail it to you. But we got to get the watch hours up. Okay, we get those watch hours up. We'll do the huge giveaway. We'll do it again for 4,000 watch hours. How about that? Okay, two hoodies, one for 3,000, one for 4,000. So pull up a playlist, get it going, and a couple lucky people will win some hoodies. How about that? This podcast is sponsored by the Red 5, or it's not sponsored. Let's do that again. Because I'm not sponsored by anyone, really. This podcast is powered by the Red 5 Network. We are a collection of exclusively nerdy podcasters and content creators here to educate and entertain you. So if you like this podcast, chances are you're going to like more of what the Red 5 Network has to offer you. So check out red5.bio.link today to discover more of your Red 5 family of podcasts. Let's check out the chat. Check out the chat. Here we go. Good morning, Simon. Hello. He asks, why do people keep saying comic book accurate? What do you mean? That's extremely unspecific. What do you mean? What do you mean? Comic book accurate means storyline, tone, costume. It could be individual things, comic book accurate, overarching stories, comic book accurate, a whole movie in general, comic book accurate. It could mean all kinds of things, but it usually means it matches the comic book. Deranged lunatic. You would think that those chickens would learn to clean up after themselves. Yeah, well, they don't, unfortunately. That sucks. Jeremy Blue, I believe for some DC fans, stay over, play Batman, make him Tyson to the point you do not want to see him for a while. Okay. Joel Familia, Simon D. Burton's and Schumacher's Gotham felt like Gotham. Nolan's Gotham felt like Chicago or New York. We're talking atmosphere. I agree with you. You want Gothic. Art Deco. That's what you want. You want Gotham City. Simon, what I mean is comics take on different tones depending on who the creator of the story is. I feel like this is a statement from people who don't read comics. Speaking of people who don't read comics, a lot of the arguments I have seen about the Superman immigrant thing or whatever are coming from people who have never read a Superman comic book in their entire lives. I got into an argument last night with someone I treasure, cherish, and love and respect dearly last night. And I finally asked the question, like, have you ever even read a Superman comic? And they just got really quiet. I'm like, shh. You can't argue a point about Superman if you literally have never read a Superman comic ever, like know nothing about Superman. You just can't. And they figured that out. So if you want to sit and argue about what makes Superman Superman or what's canon with Superman. You're going to have to crack open a Superman book at some point. Just saying. Anyway, guys, that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for a lively chat. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Nerdling Army. Those of you who are new, I hope you stick around. I hope you work for that giveaway. There you go. That's what I said. Joel Familia, tell them to go read about the lives of Schuster and Siegel. That is what I said. That is what I said. Like, the immigrant thing has been around since Superman into existence. Like, it's just a thing. Simon, thank you. Also, has anyone heard of Elseworlds? Yes, I love Elseworlds. People mean campy. The classic movies and shows were campy, overdone, intentionally corny. Well, we're doing some Silver Age right now. There we go. We're doing Silver Age, and we kind of like it. Jeremy, it's funny how people thought he was an allegory for Jesus, but it's really Moses. Yeah. Stranger in a strange land. An immigrant. Read a Superman book, guys. Crack it open. But that's all I got, guys. Thank you so much for a really, really kick-ass stream and chat. Remember, watch hours, giveaway, big time hoodie. I've never given away something this big before. Never. If I get monetized, I can afford it. A custom made specifically to the winner comics and hoodie. I will make sure it's cool. I promise. But that's all I got. I will see you guys tomorrow. Yes, I'll see you tomorrow. And keep your eyes peeled. Because
Disney and Kathleen Kennedy are gonna get you!
No.